Hello, welcome back. We're going to take a look at a very important question that I hope you're asking yourself in your practice. I really do. And if you're not, then let's ask it today. And maybe you can ask it down the line. And the question is, here in this world of drama, psychodrama, and chaos, complete disarray, war, suffering, crime, all kinds of competition, in this chaotic mess, what is actually true? What's real? What is actually true here in this insanity? It's a valuable question. And what I want to do today is take us through a single paragraph of the text, which is quite enough for a lengthy discussion. That's chapter 5, section 4 of the text. Teaching and Healing is the title of this section that we've moved on to. And we're going to talk about paragraph 1. We're also going to talk about and cross-reference some very interesting and very important lessons from the workbook for students, namely lessons 11, 12, 13, and 53, which is a review of 5 lessons, 11 through 15, to be exact. So some of you have been through the workbook, and perhaps some of you have not. And the workbook and the text are not separate. They look separate. They look like separate component parts. But remember, there is no separation of any kind. One goes with the other. They're really completely intertwined, and they're both indispensable. So in time, you may do one and complete one before the other. You may start A Course in Miracles by reading the text, or you may start it by doing the exercises in the workbook. You may, in fact, start with the Manual for Teachers or one of the 2 supplements to the course. You may start wherever you're directed. That's the emphasis, is what does your inner teacher direct you to do? Where are you called to begin? So you may begin in one place or another, but the workbook ideas make quite a bit more sense when you've been through the text, and vice versa. The text is quite a bit more understandable once you've been through the workbook. So whatever order you take them in, I really want to combine the ideas that I just mentioned today, because they're going to help us answer the question, what is actually true? What's true here in this illusion? Referring to the world as illusion. So the quick answer is your loving thoughts. They're true. And in the Course, it says that your loving thoughts are all that can really be said to exist here in this whirlwind of chaos. Now, often spiritual students experience some pushback to this characterization of the world as an illusion, as suffering, as a chaotic, hot mess. But consider that nothing in this world lasts. A beautiful love affair doesn't last, does it? Even if it lasts the rest of your lifetime, what happens to this thing in the end? Right? Nothing in this world lasts. It's a world of appearances only, to which we've attributed reality. They're not real. Everything that the body's eyes show us, everything that the body's senses relay to us, has all the meaning that we've assigned to it. We've given everything that we appear to see all the meaning that it has for us. In itself, these are simply images that don't mean anything in and of themselves. We've heaped the meaning onto it. Very interesting and an important idea. When we look at what's actually true, we have true and loving thoughts, and we have insane thoughts. How about that? We have meaningless and insane thoughts, and our thoughts show us. We see our thoughts. They show us a world. They do. So what our fear, what our psycho delusions have hidden from us is still there. It's simply hidden. It hasn't gone anywhere. Ideas leave not their source. You are the Son of God. You are the thought of God, the extension of God, one with your Creator. Who are you? Yeah, right? We haven't gone anywhere. We haven't gone anywhere yet. This thing, this experience that we call life here in the world is simply a dream. We're asleep. And what we call enlightenment or awakening is just that. It's waking up. It's a return, if you want to call it that, home. So the spiritual path is characterized often as a journey home, as a walk, right? We're not actually going anywhere because we've never left our source in the first place. So what all of our fear and ego identification has hidden from us, i.e., our reality, our own beauty, our own limitlessness, our own magnificence, our own strength and power as the Son of God. Everything that fear has hidden from us is still there. And while we see all of this chaos, our inner teacher, the Holy Spirit, helps us reinterpret everything that we experience here in the world so that we see that only what is loving is true. Only our loving thoughts are true. There are thoughts that we think with God, i.e., our loving thoughts, and there are thoughts that we think as an ego, identifying as an individual, separate, cut off, self-sustaining survival unit. Those are insane thoughts. Those are our meaningless thoughts from lessons 11, 12, and 13 of the workbook for students. So lesson 11, my meaningless thoughts show me a meaningless world. They're showing us a meaningless world. Lesson 12, I'm upset because I see a meaningless world. And lesson 13, a meaningless world engenders fear. Only our loving thoughts, the thoughts we think with God, are true. Nothing else is true. This follows when you consider that God is. You may have heard that statement. 2 words. God is. Period. This is something that I mention on this video series all the time It's at the core of this entire thought system, and this course is a thought system. What's implicit in the statement God is that only God is. All else is illusion. If you're familiar with the Hindu tradition of Advaita Vedanta, only Brahman is. Same thing. God is. Period. All else is illusion. Only God is real. Who are you? I know you know. So while the ego wants to run off with this verbal math and think it is God, the ego thinks it is supreme here. It's not, it's nothing. God is the author. We are God's creation. Understand that like extends like. Love, i.e., God, extends only love. It cannot extend hatred. It cannot extend division of any kind. Love extends itself. We create just as we were created. It's a natural flow, a natural process. The ego is not a supreme deity. It thinks it is. It's actually nothing. It's a mistake that we can set aside. And that is what the spiritual path is all about, setting this mistake to the side. We're invited to hear the call of the Holy Spirit to be as one. Of course, we're one. There's only oneness. God is. Nothing else is. Heaven, incidentally, is the awareness of perfect oneness. That is the definition of heaven from this course. Heaven is an awareness of perfect oneness. Of course, we're one. Perfect oneness. So, what is referred to in this course as the sonship, the Son of God, all living things. The sonship is one. And in the presence of this, the ego completely fades away. It's undone, and it is as though it were never there. It was not. This perceived separation never occurred. So what happens here on the path is we repeat these ideas again and again and again. Every spiritual teacher repeats these ideas again and again and again. So your inner teacher is repeating these ideas again and again and again and again and again and again. This is simply an image on your screen. The message that hits home for you, to the degree that this hits home, is your inner teacher speaking to you. You would do very well to hear, to listen, and then to follow your inner teacher's guidance. Please do that. Do just that. Yeah. So the world that we see here, with all of its wars and chaos and strife, the world of compound phenomena, everything around us, is not who we are. Our meaningless thoughts, our insane thoughts, our deluded thoughts, our separation thoughts are showing us a meaningless world. So let's ask the question, what if we were to let go of our meaningless thoughts and think only loving thoughts, our real thoughts? What if those were to predominate? Could we then see a world that is not chaotic? Yes, exactly. Yes. How that begins to happen here on the path is that the more you forgive, the more that you practice earnestly, honestly, and sincerely practice this material, the more you begin to see peace. You may show up as entirely more patient, peaceful, loving, kind, forgiving, etc., etc. And if you've been doing this for a while, perhaps you've noted those changes. Doesn't mean that other people aren't going to still do their thing. Well, they are, right? Until they're ready to start this journey to awakening, they're just going to keep spinning their wheels the same way we've all spun our wheels in the insane routine of the meaningless world. So they can be doing their thing. But what happens here on the path is it no longer affects you the same way. Someone's drama doesn't get to you the way it once did. And whereas you may have lashed out years ago, now you forgive instead, or nothing doesn't hit you at all. You're not tempted to lash out. You're not tempted to judge. You're not tempted to blame. This is how it shows up on the path. This is us on the journey to seeing only our real thoughts, the thoughts we think with God. Those are true here amidst all of this chaos. So at one point here, when that will be, who knows? We see what the Course refers to as the real world. At this point, our perception has been clarified, which is the goal of this Course. From there, it's very easily translated into knowledge. Knowledge of what? Knowledge. Knowledge of God. This is what is referred to as our awakening. The clarifying of perception is an all-important and required step on this journey. It's essential. Once we see the real world, the Course tells us that God takes the final step himself, and we're home, awake, enlightened, whatever you want to call it. Those are all, by the way, just words that we've made up. Now, we're using words and language to communicate with one another. And what is this physical body but a communication device? It's one that you can relate to. And your physical body is a communication device that your brother can relate to without fear, without being plunged into an existential crisis. Because what do you look like? Well, you look like a human being, which is what we think we are here in the world. Yet it's so interesting to take a few minutes out of our daily lives and contemplate this material, isn't it? Because somewhere deep down, you've formulated the thought that you want the peace of God. You may not have phrased it that way, or you may not be consciously aware of that thought, but it has you watching this video amidst all of the other content on YouTube. And let's just say there's a lot. My teacher, my former Buddhist teacher, Michael Conklin, used to laugh. He would just start spontaneously laughing and thinking about the world. He would say, there's a lot of phenomena out there. And there are. So you're watching this. Somewhere you have heard the call of your inner teacher who is always calling you. I invite you to listen and to answer the call. Begin this journey. And if you're already on it, keep going. Continue to forgive the Son of God. Anything that comes up in your experience that is not complete joy, anything at all, frustration, fear, anger, rage, sadness, bitterness, judgment, condemnation, and blame. I don't know. Keep naming that. That's a long list, isn't it? Anything that is not sheer, complete, and total joy is an opportunity for true forgiveness. Anything that is joyous is also symbolic here in the world. It's symbolic of our oneness. It's symbolic of our beauty, our limitlessness as Christ. So, what is actually true? Your loving thoughts, love. All right. So, thank you as always for joining me. I really appreciate all of the comments here. This is designed to supplement your learning here on the path. Wherever you are and whatever your spiritual or religious background is, this is a self-study curriculum. That's a very important and ingenious point about A Course in Miracles, is that it is not a cult. It's not a religion. The world does not need another one of those, does it? It's a self-study curriculum, which you do under the guidance of your inner teacher. So this image that you see is a guide. I'm here to support you on your journey in any way that I can. So if you have comments or questions, please feel welcome to leave them. And please feel welcome to subscribe. This red arrow here is the subscription button. I'd love to have you join us. So if you've not subscribed, please go ahead and do so. We get together here. These videos are, well, they appear 5-6 times a week. Consistency is important. And again, we're going through the text of A Course in Miracles. So there's a lot to pay attention to. All right. What's actually true? Your loving thoughts. All right. Have a great day, guys. I will see you very soon.